Nobody tells you when it happens. There's no alert. No green day so big it settles the question forever. No moment where the market taps you on the shoulder and says, "Okay, you're one of us now." The crossing is quiet. It happens in your behavior months before it shows up in your account. By the time the equity curve confirms it, you've already been a different trader for a while. You just didn't have proof yet. So you look for the proof in the wrong place. You look at the P&L. The P&L is the last thing to change. It's the lagging indicator of a shift that already happened inside you. Here's where the shift actually shows up first. 5 signs. If you recognize 3 of them in yourself, you're closer than your account is telling you. 1. A good setup appears, and you do nothing. This is the strangest one, so it goes first. A setup shows up. Not a great one. A good one. The kind that would have had losing you reaching for the mouse before the thought finished forming. Volume's there. The level's there. It's tradable. And you pass on it. Not out of fear. Out of a sentence you can now finish, "This isn't quite my A setup, and I only take A setups now." Losing you couldn't say that sentence. Losing you took every B and C setup, because not trading felt like missing out, and missing out felt like losing. Activity felt like effort, and effort felt like it should be rewarded. So you traded all day and wondered why a profitable strategy kept producing unprofitable results. The strategy was never the problem. The problem was you ran it on 20 trades a day when it only had an edge on 4. The day you let a decent setup go by and feel calm about it instead of itchy, something structural has changed. You've stopped measuring yourself by how much you traded and started measuring yourself by how well you waited. Watch for this one closely, because it doesn't feel like progress. It feels like laziness. It feels like you're doing nothing. You're not doing nothing. You're doing the single hardest thing in this profession. Declining money that isn't yours to take yet. 2. Your losses got boring. Think back to how a loss used to feel. The tightness in your chest. The replay loop afterward. The need to immediately do something, check the chart again, find another trade, prove the loss was a fluke. A red trade used to be an event. It had a whole emotional weather system attached to it. Now you take a loss and nothing happens. The stop hits. You note it. You move on. Maybe you write one line about it. There's no spiral, no story, no need to make the market pay for what it just did to you. The loss is just a line item. An expected budgeted cost of running a system that wins less than half the time and still makes money. That phrase is the whole thing. Wins less than half the time and still makes money. The day you genuinely internalize that, not as a fact you read, but as something your nervous system accepts, losses stopped being failures. A loss inside your plan isn't you being wrong. It's the strategy doing exactly what it's supposed to do across a large enough sample. Losing you needed to be right. Profitable, you needs to be consistent, and accepts that consistency is built out of a long string of small, unremarkable losses with bigger wins scattered between them. When the losses get boring, you've stopped fighting the math. And the moment you stop fighting the math is the moment the math starts working for you. 3. You stopped looking for a new strategy. There was a phase, be honest, where you collected systems, a new indicator every few weeks, a different time frame, a guru setup, a combination nobody had tried. Every losing streak sent you hunting for the next thing, because if the system kept failing, the system must be broken, and somewhere out there was the one that wasn't. You had it backwards the entire time. You weren't switching strategies because they failed. They failed because you kept switching. No edge survives if you abandon it the first time variance shows up. You were quitting every system right before the sample size got large enough to mean anything. The sign you've crossed over is quiet and a little anticlimactic. You've been trading the same approach for months, through good stretches and bad ones. You haven't bought a course this year. You haven't added an indicator. When a losing week hits, you don't go looking for a replacement. You open your records and ask whether you ran the system correctly, which is a completely different question. That question is the dividing line. Losing traders ask, is the strategy good? Profitable traders ask, did I follow the strategy? The first question has no end. You'll ask it forever and never find peace. The second question has an answer you can actually act on tomorrow morning. The boring loyalty to one tested approach, even when it's frustrating you. That's not stubbornness. That's the thing that was missing the whole time. 4. The size finally matches the conviction. Here's one you can almost measure. Pull up your last 30 trades. Look at the position sizes. For losing you, the sizing would be backwards. Biggest size on the revenge trade, the FOMO trade. The trade you couldn't fully explain. Smallest size on the clean, obvious, high-conviction setup, because by the time it appeared, you'd already burned your confidence on garbage. That's the tell of a losing trader. The size is driven by emotion, not by edge. Big when you're desperate, small when you're disciplined. Exactly inverted from what would make money. The crossing shows up as alignment. Your biggest positions are now your best setups. Your smallest are the marginal ones you almost skipped. The size tracks the quality of the opportunity instead of the intensity of your feelings. And critically, you stopped sizing up after a winning streak. Losing you treated 3 green days as a license to press, to optimize, to ride the heat. Profitable you knows the streak is the most dangerous moment in the cycle, because that's exactly when you feel invincible, and that feeling has cost you every account you've ever blown. So you hold size steady through the hot stretch. You let the good run go to the bank instead of becoming fuel for the giveback. When your sizing gets boring and consistent, same risk per trade, scaled only to conviction, unmoved by your last result, you've removed the single behavior that turns good months into flat years. 5. You got quiet about it. This is the last one, and it's the one nobody expects. Early on, you talked. You posted the green days. You told people you traded. You needed the wins to be witnessed because the trading itself didn't yet feel real without an audience. The screenshots were partly for you, partly for them, and the partly for them is the part that was quietly killing you. Because trading for an audience and trading for an edge are 2 different jobs, and you can only do one well. Somewhere in the crossing, you went silent. Not secretive, just quiet. You stopped announcing trades. You stopped needing the validation. A clean win happens, and you close the platform and go make coffee and don't tell a soul. The work stopped being a performance and became a private discipline, the way it is for everyone who actually does this for a living. The traders who make it are almost always the ones nobody hears from. Not because they're hiding, because the need to be seen winning got replaced by the much quieter satisfaction of actually winning, which requires no witness at all. The scoreboard moved inside. When you notice you haven't talked about your trading in months, and you don't miss it, that's not you becoming antisocial. That's you finally trading for the only person whose opinion the market responds to. So where are you? Count them. The setup you let pass. The loss that didn't move you. The strategy you stopped abandoning. The size that finally matches the trade. The silence you didn't expect. None of these will show up in your account this week. That's the hard part, and the reason most people quit right before it works. They're standing on the edge of the crossing, already doing 4 of these 5 things, and they walk away because the P&L hasn't caught up yet. The P&L is always last. It's the receipt, not the cause. If you saw yourself in even 3 of these, the account is coming. You've already become the trader. The number just hasn't finished arriving. Don't quit in the gap between who you've become and what your balance has noticed. That gap is the last thing standing between you and the other side.